among the African country there, so where una don dey work with una intervention into the salon economy using digital technology and other one them. What kind change una dey expect for bring into the Sierra Leone economy?
Well, that's a very good question. The thing is, if you look at the trend, economic trend with regards to countries where really they lead in the economy, like for instance, China, the government now enforce critical mass in digitization, and then the entire country adopt them. And today, China is the second largest economy. In fact, they try for almost overtake America. You look at India as well. India government force digitization, and then eventually India now the third largest economy. But in Africa, in as much as Africa get the population, we get more people who get mobile phone, for instance. I think about 800 million people that get mobile phone across the continent. But Africa not able to get critical mass yet. And because government not adopt that, and so once they adopt that, the first thing is the critical mass, that is one. Two, there are other things where we get for the part of, like for instance, the African Continental Free Trade Area, where they launched by January next year, and Sierra Leone is part of it. And for instance, we can able to give Sierra Leonean companies the opportunity for trade across the countries and they, while in Nigeria, because we get the entire infrastructure.
How una they implement this entire infrastructure una gets for the Sierra Leonean counterpart then begin trade na the other African country then dey?
Okay, so for instance, we structure them within any country we get three types of arrangements. We get legal arrangements, we get corporate arrangements, we get technical arrangements. And so in Sierra Leone, we already try for beginning to initiate that with one of the banks here for legal and corporate arrangements. And then once we do that, we have to put also with technical partnerships in place, and then anybody can ride on that infrastructure. But the good news is, it is an open source infrastructure. For instance, we the process on Chase Bank. Chase Bank is 2.6 trillion asset. In the entire continent, it's about 1.3. It's two times in terms of wealth past the entire African continent. You begin to see the movement, the flow of money from those banks because they have data. They therefore see into various sectors. So one of the things they want to provide is we provide product experience for everybody, business profile, and also industrial experience. And so once people can see through the industry, they can see through the business, they're able for guarantee for advance risk and put money. And so you're talking about a bank like that who will the process on top, for instance, and then they begin to use multilateral funding for able for funding things because there is data available. And so some of those benefits, we're looking for money as a country. And it's there, but we don't have the structures who will ride on. For them money, they can easily do it because nobody's going to give you free like that. So you see, so those are one of the benefits there. So for instance, financial inclusion in agriculture. So we are currently the partner with Produce Monitoring Board. They get a lot of activities that we don't want to do. And so one of the things that we want to do with them, now we for bring finance into agriculture for Sierra Leone get about 40 or 42% arable land. 14 rivers will never go dry. We get a population of the region about 35 or 38.5, 38.4 million people. If we grow every day, we no go for feed all man.
So how on your arrangement where on the can with on initiative, how it fits into the policies them way already the institutions that we supposed for deal with the economy don't they implement so far? How on fit into them policies and the way they use?
Well, I'll give you an example. When we acquired technology, after we developed the service offering, we acquired technology. First we move around the local councils and sign with the local councils. And so when we sign with the local councils, we notice that they really need this thing, but the policy not it. So we begin to move for kind of attract policy direction towards what we do. So we've informed a program where we'll be there for able to adopt certain technologies within the financial sector. And so today, I think some of them policies in the central bank they work on them. That's one. And then two also, we already aware of existing structures and we do. Governments don't do a lot of work. The thing is, because most of them structures there, then they kind of inside also
for improve the different economy them not the African country them when they operate and then decide for begin for do the same technology na salon as well for improve the salon economy. We dey continue with the program Good Morning Salon where they come to you from the Society for Radio Democracy 98.1 FM. We dey take one per we headline story them now. Also the Director General and the National HIV and AIDS Secretariat Abdul Rahman Sisi don't say although the coronavirus dey na the country, but he say the secretariat and dem partner dem able for give treatment to the over 7,000 HIV and AIDS patients dem wey dey na the country every month. Abdulrahman Sise tok dis inside one interview with Radio Democracy after wey the HIV/AIDS secretariat and USAID don go hand over but 22 hand wash tank dem, hand sanitizer and other things dem wey cost but $6,000 to different organizations dem all over the country as dem use support to the coronavirus fight. Abdulrahman Sise explain more about this to Cherno Jallo inside this interview.
When the issue of COVID hit Africa, we sit down and we partners and we plan. We plan in the sense that COVID not reach Salone yet. So I just say, what thing we could do? Then COVID don't reach Salone. What thing we could do? There's a lockdown. What thing we for do? So we put all them planning together. That plan in the end don't actually guide we, and it don't really help we. Help we in the sense that we try to ensure, say, the most critical thing for let with patients, let them not run out of their medication. We know the most critical thing. So what thing we try to do first? Initially, we be give with patient their monthly treatment, monthly supplies of their drugs because they need to take their drugs every day. So what thing we do is that we classify with clients. We get stable clients and the one that we're not stable. We decide, say, well, what we can do for them is that we give them 3 monthly supplies instead of the one month. For the other people, we decide, say, we give them monthly supplies. And the next move what we try to do, they introduce this quarantine, they begin quarantine people. We also try very hard for ensure, say, in as much as they quarantine people, then we also they provide services, they like testing services. And among them people that within the quarantine, at least we will pick up 1, 2, 3 with HIV positive. We'll put them on treatment.
Bring me to the next immediate question. Talking about COVID patients and HIV patients. When again the statistics should say that this amount of HIV patients gets the COVID-19.
No, we not get any statistics because we don't want to rely on that sort of statistics. Not to survey we do. It's like we just come say, okay, for them treatment there, we say, okay, let me self try for integrate, for ensure say, in as much as COVID is bad, it kill people. Yes, HIV likewise not the same. So it's like if you get HIV, then you get COVID, it's like your chances not double jeopardy. So what we do now is like that testing will introduce there, we ensure say yes. At least we will pick up 1 or 2. We don't actually free, but now they are patients. We been get 1 or 2 of our patients. Actually, we not been HIV clients. We already been don't get the COVID. We didn't able to survive. They die. So that
I will start this interview earlier on. We see when I go to 70,000 HIV positivity. Okay, so now no watch out on intervention during this COVID-19. I think say some of them facility now have been bring be able to reach out to all the people in it.
Yes, able to reach out because we implement in partners them. The one that would give them this workstation. So then actually they out in the community, then they sensitize, then get face-to-face interventions wherein they sit down, they talk to people, etc. What they take for measure. So it's like our activities don't actually become distorted or disrupted.
As it clear as a different sector that not may get affected with this COVID-19 pandemic, how this not affect people that live with HIV?
With drugs, they come by air. But when the airport close, most of them drugs will be put in an order. We've been get a problem of how we can reshift them again for let them come by sea. Because all HIV drugs from where COVID not be there, they come by air. But this BNT now, when the airports been get for lock, it's like we've been get for tell some of the suppliers and say, okay, we're not sending things and they by sea.
Yeah, because this, I remember Ututu just talked to the last time, Radio Democracy, we are story with some HIV positive the complaints and don't get access to the drugs.
Yes.
You think that this not been the reason?
Yes, this not been the reasons. This is not the greatest reasons because we've been not placing orders. It's like they know they manufacture the drugs now. We don't place in orders and we don't pay, they don't tell we say at the delivery. And sometimes even when they know already, we don't get, how they call them, bill of lading or air freight bill say, this drug supposed to come with this particular flight. All of a sudden they cancel the flight. So we get for rearrange again for see how then drugs
how this on the work now?
Well, we take what at least the drugs are not come now. most of like the first line drugs are all in country now.
Let me take a look at how the HIV sick in the country. Will give you a breakdown of all the sick in the country.
For me, it's like the trend still there. HIV situation is still look challenging, and what we really need for actually respond to. You know, the donor, their attention is a bit it don't become diverted somehow because of other ailments the way they come in now. Take for example like the COVID. So the focus of the entire world now is like on COVID.
We'll watch at least some of the things they plan for distribute. To some of them donations there.
Some of them donations wash stations, hand wash stations, and now IPC materials, just hand wash stations and soap and the other thing. They come from one of our critical partners that we support. We're very strategic in terms of how we do them. We not they give them out to the public. What would they try for doing institutions and who would they deal with them permanently fixed, with more people they go there. So we want for ensure we help them out. Anybody where they go, they're not getting self-infected.
What are the different area of targets doing this distribution?
Now drop-in centers. We get some KP organizations, key affected populations. Then populations that have the HIV prevalence rate is very high among them. Then drop-in centers now like a safe haven where you create for them.
That's the Director General at the HIV and AIDS Secretariat, Abdul Rahman Sise. If they talk to Cherno Jallo inside that interview, they also say, although the coronavirus is in the country, but he said the Secretariat and them partner them, they able to give treatment to the over 70,000 HIV and AIDS patients them where they in the country every month. He talk this after where them be go give some medical team them to different organizations, then we cost about $6,000 as the young support for the fight against the coronavirus.
Salon Commercial Bank don't come with new banking products them for make life easy. With Million Online Bank and Million Mobile app, you can able for use Salon Link money transfer for send money to anybody like you not get bank account. Transfer or receive money na the same bank or any other bank. Transfer money to person or office like you not get the account number. Buy Ed-Salite, pay other bill them, and now get advanced salary. You don't need for worry again, but almost money then you earn. Because you can able for pay for things the way you buy in a supermarket and other shop them with the quick response code payment. Yagbadon done for we boss man them. With Beyond Online Direct, you can upload salary, pay all your supplier them, sell forex to Salon Commercial Bank, and watch your account anytime. If you need the app, download them from Google Play Store or any Apple Store, or go to Salon Commercial Bank website www.slcb.com. Sierra Leone Commercial Bank, delivering value.
Sierra Leone Commercial Bank.
As way for help people the way they do small thing for survive, and then one the way they run place like cinema all for manage their life during COVID-19.
The Anti-Corruption Commission get what say people they go around a Kambulto area na Watalo they take money na people in hand, especially women them for register they forget about 1.5 to 2 million loans.
The Anti-Corruption Commission will make all man know say the money where World Bank and government of Salon they give for help people and then tell me now 1,309,000 loans.
If anybody ask you for money for register you, or if you been don't give money to anybody back, call ACC na 515 or report na the police station where they near you.
Make sure say you not give penny to anybody for register you for get money where World Bank and government of Salon give for help people them during this COVID-19 sick. This message come out from the Anti-Corruption Commission with support from World Bank.
The program is still listening to now. Good morning, Salon, where they come to you from the Society for Radio Democrats 98.1 FM. We they look at other issues of the program now outside the Rotary Club of Freetown. Don't go give 40 feet container medical equipment them to the Branda Medical Center na Makeni. Rotarian Saidu Kano, now the president for the Rotary Club of Freetown. He said this na the young support for help governments at the health sector. He explained more to Kabia about this support we then go give to the Branda Medical Center na Makeni.
The Rotary Club of Freetown is a very vibrant club with local partners and international partners. Then we don't provide water well to communities, to schools and health facilities then as Salon. We don't give scholarship then to secondary school pupils them. We don't dey give scholarship them too for them and the way one for pursue higher learning. Now universities they are outside Sierra Leone. We don't dey help with the disabled picking them. We don't dey support in the area of agriculture and livelihoods. And we also don't dey help on the medical area where they provide medical equipment to health facilities them.
We see over the weekend, Rotary Club been going to Makeni. So what you go do there?
Over the weekend, we get a group of Rotarians, we go Makeni for go present a donation, a 40-foot container of medical equipment and hospital furniture to the Breda Medical Center na Makeni.
So what you want to give them so?
The 40-foot container gets hospital beds, mattresses, consumable supplies, X-ray machine, dental equipments, them, and other equipments them for maternity.
So why not decide for this particular medical center?
Well, Breda Medical Center na we partner hospital na Sierra Leone, who we know they support for help improve the quality of healthcare where they provide for people in Makeni. This is not the second time we dey give them the hospital equipment and medical supplies there as well and furniture. Last year we give them another container, and this year na the second container we'll give them. And because of this donation we don't make, the hospital, when a new hospital now go open a maternity center, we go help for the delivery of babies. Then we also open another component for dental care where they're not being get, and improve the laboratory, quality of laboratory service where they provide to the community. And of course the X-ray machine is so key for diagnose disease them. So then they don't really help the hospital, and we hope say they will use that donation day for care for the people within Makeni and the surrounding villages.
So then tell when I get them this hospital, now they may request say Rotary Club because now don't they support we want so and so for this hospital.
Well, we get with partners then in Canada where they work with we for able to make this donation possible. We get the Strathcona Sunrise Club in Canada and Rotary World Health in Canada. So now they work with we for provide this donation. Of course, we also get individuals like Alan and Annette where they help for pay for the transportation, for the shipping of the container. Yep. Now they request for the medical equipment and hospital furniture. Then we contact with international partners then for helping for get the equipments and the furniture. So through that, we able to bring them come and we go hand them over.
So then tia so na don't we go see go to the club, go to Makeni, na this hospital, Flona go the monitor, Flona say the thing them wanna give them, they use them for the right purpose.
Of course, as I said, this is not the second container where we give. So far, all the monitor and visits what we don't do there, then they take good care of the equipments that we then get. And we see say this last visit where we go, we see the hospital they expand, not only in terms of the infrastructure, but also the service that we then they provide to the community. As I said earlier, now then they add a maternity wing at the hospital, then they also add a dental wing at the hospital, and then service then they're not being getting. And of course, in interest for no say, Rotary, they focus for fight disease. And we think say what will help this hospital, it will help for improve the quality of healthcare that the people in the Makeni area and the surrounding villages that way they go to the hospital there.
So this hospital is a free medical service thinking?
No, not a free medical service, except you get a new hospital where they just opened maybe like I think 3 years ago where they just try for develop. And they in the part of Makeni, na Ventinary Teco area, which I know other hospital health facility not there around that area there.
So apart from this hospital, na do help na Makeni, we go see go to the club, they go back now other districts them, for still able for provide for the medical equipment they don't go in at this hospital.
Yeah, Rotary be done the support other hospitals then. Few years back, we don't support like Connaught, the Children's Hospital, where they get their medical equipment and supplies them. So not to just Makeni, we support some hospital in Freetown years back. And even now, we get a project where they call Project Peanut Butter, in Pujang district, where they support Project Peanut Butter for provide therapeutic food for malnourished children in the Pujang area.
Well, that's not the voice of the president for Rotary Club of Freetown, Rotarian Saidu Kano, been talking that interview day with Kabia Fosika, 40 feet container medical equipment where Rotary Club of Freetown go give the Branda Medical Center na Makeni.
We continue with the program and we still get David Mikja, when the executive president for CADEP. There this morning they talk about the organization and how then they use technology for transform different economy them na within African country them, and now then decide for come na salon for can start for do training them with CSOs, member them from different MDs them as well for getting to the salon economy. When they come back to you, Mr. Ja, then training there so will you make mention of say una don't own other African country them, and now I start for do na salon. When exactly una go begin for do the training there so, and other than the targeted groups them?
So they try for Dubai second week inside this August so they can. And the primary reason is because we push them to second week August is because we want to get Sierra Leone on board as well. So we get Burkina Faso on board and we get Nigeria on board. And so Nigeria we get all the 36 states then. And we target 3 sets of groups then. The first group now the people then with the benefits. We the government agencies and MDAs then. The second one institutions and we want to take advantage of some of the global equities and we get. We in the private sector. Then the other one the people then we they try for able for pass on the technology to we go able for the monitor some of the things and because the technology that we get not just for salon. For the entire continent, and so we want to build a team where we can able for left hand with because of different sectors and a multi-sector program we get. So people from different sectors, people were interested for able for use for serve other sectors and able for monitor for we, and also now all of that we try for do right
now.
How
much una go able for empower this particular team because according to you, una just want for can build a team. We'll be able for continue for implement some of the expertise una go don't give them. How much the company go able for empower them so that if we don't move for go to other country, then go able for implement the Sabi through this training where they don't get na Salonia.
But first of all, we get a platform. We get a platform where we put at the hand. When we put this platform at the hand, the platform gets a lot of opportunities. It will start with people who really get some of the basic digital skills. And then eventually, once we deploy some of the other services, and people then go able for use that and for able for develop more skills and we go able for eventually roll out some of the things and within the platform. It's an open source, a multi-sector platform. So any sector where you able for use them and you able for ensure say you democratize the technology. So for instance, again example, you within IASO, maybe you get small skills in IT, in digital IT or when I do programs when I try for advertise, for instance, when I can kind of a platform and then when I able for use them for advertise. So, for instance, we integrate with Facebook. If you get one of programs, them, we terminals them. If you get Facebook, so for instance, a Radio Democracy can come and contact everybody. Way cheaper because this now technology we integrate with global ecosystem from the source, and so way cheaper. So most of the access and we go daily for government, you go daily for private sector, you go daily for institutions like UNA.
So especially for the private sector and people where they listen, where go be interested in this digital economy training, they come up with, you see, second week of August. How then go get access? Is it an open training when I go for do or I get a procedure where people for follow for be part of them?
So we get a procedure. So what we don't do is we try for test that procedure through a webinar a few weeks back, and we see we really don't try on improving the process of accessibility and affordability. And so one of the things that we would try for do between now to that time is to have people in where we say group of groups. It means, for instance, let's say if for instance a private sector, when are able for come and when are able to get internet connectivity, and then we're able for connect via Zoom. And then
when I get a web address, so people for go through for apply or waiting.
We do that, and once the first one we do that's exactly what we do. We do an application program where everybody can go on top and everybody can able for access and apply. So we get for do that, but more so what we want for do is we really want for organize in a way that we're going to be very effective. In the sense that once you don't do the training, you get after training, people are supposed to be able to access the facilities and where they then begin to use hands-on, so that they go for beginning to say, oh, this kind of thing, they solve this kind of problem. So we not only give you the capacity for access to training and able for participate, But also we try for also lay the foundation so that once you don't know the training, you come on the platform, then you begin to utilize the platform.
Right.
So now that's what we try for.
Would they come back to you, David Mijah, Executive President for CADAP? Would they take this commercial break? Would they come and continue the program? Good morning, Salon.
Better don't come, better don't come. Now Union Trust Bank again. Union Salon Banco. Union Trust Bank get plenty product and service there for you. You must get what you want to go better. Like we savings account, ide. Current account, ide. Fixed deposit account, ide. Credit facility, ide. All for you. Me and you. Me and you. Union Trust Bank, that's alone for me and you. Kids future savings account, ide. School fee savings account, ide. Pay advance salary scheme, ide. We branch and they all up but not alone. Boko no kenema, we de. Kabala mabogo kakambia, we de. Jala free town loan sa, we de. And my lengthy one. Me and you. Union Trust Bank, me and you. Union Trust Bank. Union Trust Bank, na salon for me. Union Salon Banco. Union Trust Banco.
Union Trust Bank, empowering Sierra Leonean businesses.
Rokel Commercial Bank, don't make her the waka with me bank na me phone. Rokel Commercial Bank, go make you the waka with you bank na you phone. They been come with SIM Corpo, and now they don't increase the facility. For sure, say na them na the Alagba banking business na now they don't come with SIM Corpo Plus. They don't come with SIM Corpo Plus. This service go allow you for send money to person where they salon anytime you want. It no matter the mobile coming where you there. As you send me go get some quick one. What's nice inside salon you there? You money go reach you. It no matter if you there na the east, west, north, south. So secure then you like. Go na Google Play Store and search for the app SIM Corpo Plus and say download app. Follow the instructions and register your device. The process no long not even reach 2 minutes. When you done the bank go send message na your phone. For confirm say na your phone number bang bang. Enjoy eCorpo and more facilities. SIM Corpo Plus e come for we all. You don't city or village just na salon you there. You eCorpo go reach you there. Heads at top up safe now they're under the facility. With eCorpo, you can cash out your money from any local commercial bank agent or branch all around the country.
The program Good Morning Salon, they continue with a look at other issues of the program now. Usai Member of Parliament, them Thursday, July 23, pulled the criminal libel law, now the 1965 Public Order Act, for Sikadi, the Minister of Information and Communication, Mohamed Rahman Suarez, say, Salon democracy don't get strength, and journalists them go able for do them work free one now. People go member say, for pull Part 5 na the 1965 Public Order Act na been one pan the promise them where President Bio be make during the campaign term inside 2018 election. We make in government through parliament pull this particular law come out of the law book them yesterday. Well, Musa Kamara been in a parliament and put this report together.
The question is that the bill entitled the Public Order Amendment Act 2020 be read the third time and passed into law. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it.
Na so member of parliament them being agreed for pull part 5 when at the criminal libel law na the 1965 Public Order Act. Francis Sowa be they represent the Salon Association of Journalists na the Independent Media Commission as commissioner inside the process for pull this law. He explained what in this law be mean to journalists them work.
Well, basically this be the law will be in simple terms be they say when you publish anything where people not like then go na police. Police go arrest you. Normally they go detain you on a Friday, release you on a Monday. So what he also say that they can arrest a journalist. They arrest the owner of the newspaper, they arrest the editor, they arrest the publisher, they arrest the printer, and they also arrest the vendor. So this law, we don't make people not be invest into media. So this new law, we don't can now, they say, we know the talk say journalists and get free for all. But when they get matter with you, you can use the civil libel law, we're not get funding for arrest a journalist, or you can go to IMC, like how FCC say you don't get new IMC law.
Francis Owa continues say this law where Parliament don't pull go encourage people for put them couple per media business na saloon. We go better journalists than life.
Investors are not go afraid again for investing into the media because their investments will not be protected. That means to say we will get more resources into the media, and then they will attract more the best of minds into the media and profession. Even with female colleagues, them will be afraid for coming to the profession because of that law. They go make get more women them we start going into the profession. So this is a big victory for the media and for Sierra Leone in all levels.
Ahmed Said Nasrallah, now the president for the Saloon Association of Journalists, he been there in the celebration mood na Parliament as he win the battle where Slash done the fight for over 50 years now.
I feel happy. I feel so happy. I feel so privileged, and I feel so, I would say, so lucky. I don't know if he got the glory. I don't want to tell the Slash members that will vote me in as president. I want to tell them thank you because they believe in my leadership and they believe say I will finally complete the relay will be deeper from 1971. We don't get president after president. We don't make this law for faith. We don't put this law as a priority. We don't continue to IB Kagbu, Umaru Fofana, Kelvin Lewis, and I'm president, and I don't see this through, and all don't support me throughout this process here. So I got the glory.
The amended Independent Media Commission Act of 2020. Now the new law for regulate journalism work, where this according to some sector of journalism. Now other way for reduce journalism power for do them work, but this now Nasrallah intake on the new law.
They say, every freedom comes with responsibility. Freedom na power, na great power, and every great power we get, it comes with great responsibility. So, while it's a good freedom day, you get for no say other people in the back, they accept get right. Parliament get for protecting, get for safeguard people the repetition. People don't work for the repetition from what they call. They're not going to allow for the person can spoil a repetition, they can damage her. We don't work for accuse you wrongly. So that's not the issue. So, with the freedom we we take responsibility. So we got to make sure say we live up to that responsibility. We don't for abuse them. Freedom is not abuse them. We believe say me don't believe what we get as journalists. The more freedom they give me, the more they become responsible. So now they expect every journalist forget. The more freedom they give you, because they allow you now for let you regulate yourself, let you know say you're a professional and you know what you for do and what you not for do.
After 8 hours of debates, member of parliament them being agree for pull this law, where this according to the leader for government business na parliament, Honorable Matthew Sayuma. MP them not be look at this law in commot one from the political position, but from national position after plenty consultation where the leadership of parliament be don't do with them.
The issue be so nationalistic in the sense that I be able to do consultations. Where do they repeat? I engage all the parties, I engage everybody we concern, I engage parliament. Say, look, we have to do this in the interest of democracy, in the interest of protect media. So waiting happen when I involved in the business, they all be carried with me and they see the sincerity in me. They see say when they do them out of any malice, we do them because all of us don't make commitment for those repeat. So we take them on board. They see so not left anybody behind. They see the sincerity in my leadership. They see say when they cover their own issues them at the addresser. So in the light, we all come together.
The Minister of Information and Communication, Mohammed Rahman Soare, say for pull the criminal libel law na the 1965 Public Order Act being there part of President Bio in campaign promise inside 2018.
When a member say President Julius Maada Bio will be in a campaign, he been say go repeal the criminal libel law. He been making a commitment and becoming president, he charge me with the responsibility for make sure say are able to execute.
Give strength to democracy, freedom of speech, rule of law. Now the word them of the Minister of Information and Communication will be the talk about important for pull the criminal libel law.
Well, this means this government they try for deepening the roots of democracy, would they try for broadening the frontiers of freedom so that people then go able to practice their trade without any encumbrances. Because the president honestly and sincerely believes the media get a very important role to play in national development. So now that make only then criminalize people there in the cause of doing their job. So it means a lot for democracy, it means a lot for everything, rights and the rule of law.
The Speaker of Parliament, Honorable Dr. Cherno Abbas Bundu, being called on journalism not for betray the trust where parliaments don't put on them for pull the criminal libel law.
Let's hope and pray that the confidence that the House has reposed in the profession of journalism will not be misplaced, and posterity will remember this day and all of us as a day that is truly historic.
The leadership of the All People's Congress APC party in Parliament, National Grand Coalition NGC, Coalition for Change C4C, Parliament Chief Member of Parliament them all been tell thank you to government for pull this law, and self say the praise not only for go to President Bio and in cabinet, but also to all member of Parliament them we agree for make this law come on at the Public Order Act. And speaker after speaker been tell thank you to Indolo Moe Gevao, Chairman Legislative Committee in Parliament and in team for their role inside the repeal process. For the Society for Radio Democracy, Musa Kamara.
The program is still listening to now. Good morning, Saloni. They come to you from the Society for Radio Democracy 98.1 FM. And we say plenty thank you to members of Parliament them and all the one them will be the champion this particular fight for Part 5 of the 1965 Public Order Act. Komot na Salon Law Book them. Plenty thank you to the members of Parliament them we series in for police particular parts of the law, and also congratulations to the journalists them as now they can say you didn't give much is expected as well. The program Good Morning Salon, they continue to come back again to the studio guest, David Mikja. And there this morning, they talk about digital economy training, where they come up with for government to command them and serve people within the private sector. I'm not a secret to say this is a crisis period, and the economy don't be hit hard by the coronavirus because business are not the flow again and revenue generation challenges on the different countries them na the world, and Salon not an exception. So this particular training we want to come up with on digital economy, how it help for boost the economy or give ideas them on waiting people for do, especially in the private sector, for ensure say the crisis not make some of them businesses them not able to pick up again.
So these are a very good question. So first of all, when you talk about digital economy, you talk about connectivity, you talk about power as a service. For we, you talk about a global payment platform. We get all processing for all cards in the world, all types of payments, whatever, check, cash, mobile money, whatever. And also, you talk about the capacity for index the entire sectors using satellite technology and some applications and space applications. And so we get all that embedded in we digital economy infrastructure. So now, when, for instance, we say we provide this training for government, first of all, it help for them able to do what they call taxonomy. You know, until you really get, for instance, representation, digital representation of services, digital representation of products, digital representation of businesses. Again, example, for instance, the central bank will get some money where they see them pull for give people them. They put some conditions them. See, would that be pay tax? Would that be pay to do this? You don't have digital representation of those things because companies not able to do it. And as much as there's a law in the Income Tax Act for, say, all man for keeping records through digital means so that everybody will get access to them, but they don't have the capacity, they don't have the ability to power those transactions. And so we get all of that in infrastructure. Not that something we'll go for go invent, we already get them. But the knowledge is new knowledge. This is new technology, it's novelty, and it's new knowledge. And so one of the things that we get for happen is everything therefore be laid bare. Now everybody in here say, oh, now I help for this alone, I help for do this. For instance, some of the programs, some of the technologies will get able to move WUNA from here to different places across the country because we get a broadcasting software in a micro server. And so if we integrate 98.1, for instance, when I for reach any side, if you put the micro server in any village for connect people them and give them services them, we're not able to reach it. And so those are the things we want for lay beer so that everybody becomes aware that no, the technology day and a day with a company, we're not Israeli company, and we're able for adopt and go on that platform. But in terms of benefit, financial benefit is one of the things and way they carry it because, for instance, what they're talking about these radios right now, the people that we get access to, now based on the people that we own, based on whatever advertising capacity we get on Facebook, now them people that get access to. And so what digitization does is it brings everybody where you know him for get access to whatever we did because they're connected to a platform or an ecosystem. And able for extend you reach. So that is one. Two, it also creates the capacity for like, people that are able to get records for you. For instance, like the central bank, we want to give people that loan. For instance, in the hotel industry, people that get records. So you understand. So how do they forget this? Where they not able to get your data, your financial data, your transaction data, and other things. For sure, say you're even viable for this kind of opportunity. So we also provide that, but also it give the country itself a big opportunity in a perfect storm. The COVID is a perfect storm where we able for use if we not sleep, able for move everything to digital, and able forget the kind of data we need, real-time data. Right now, they talk about sensors, that they can't do sensors, for instance. Why? It's a midterm sensors because it's almost like a metadata, because they don't do them before, they want to do them midterm, and they do it again at a time. But when you have some of these infrastructures we'll get already, it gives you that data every day in real time. It gives government that data. It gives the central bank that data every day in real time. So critical issues like planning and development will be very easy.
When you talk about digital economy, one thing we will come to mind now people where they do business people we normally call entrepreneurs, and under that entrepreneur sector they get different type of businesses. One that we don't get challenged lately now the one them where they into SMEs. This particular program what they talk about the training get anything for do with the SMEs then?
Yeah, it got a lot to do with the SMEs because the SMEs now they really operate in the primary sector. And if you want to really move a country from low income to high income, you get to put cash and capital in the hands of the SMEs here because they employ the masses. And so when you put cash and capital in their hand, they save and then the economy improve. And so one of the things that we try to do now for people to get digital representation of their services in there. Right now, so we get the platform, we get the tools. We not only get the capacity, but we get the tools we're able to digitize any SME. If it's like that itself, we're able to digitize you. It's very funny where I talk about. Okay, so we get what you call service representation on the platform. So I'll give you an example, for instance. Let's say, for instance, I didn't this area, I sell granite. So if we get an agent at this area, for instance, we get that particular facility there. If I want to buy from you, you can just give the service code and then send them to you. And then send them, there you go. Or you get QR code stamp in your hand, and then you buy and put it on your phone, and there you go. And so at the end of the day, if I make 10,000, in as much as the money, but it is digitized. It is passing through a system. And then the system goes, oh, David, they make 10,000 every day because now these are the buy for that area there every day. And so it tells even the economic worth of the area. So there are so many data we get for create. We're going for help for improve the economy within that particular area. So for instance, I can for access loan. If I want for access loan, they already know which area they're doing and which area. But it comes down to a point where we also get, for instance, digital stores where you for create. You can do how you organize it, for example, you get a digital store and then you do something else and then it'll go smoothly without you not moving. But in real time, you actually get the data in real time of what will happen within your digital stores. And so even when people are able to move, you're able to solve some of them problems. So we have those tools in our hands. And what we try to do is bring the knowledge to people that we have these tools in our hands and we want for loan access them.
All right, continue for the program. David Mictra, will they come back to you and will they take this short commercial break?
Causing confusion.
But this confused me, boo. Look where Uncle Nat in World Solid. Look him block them with them beat for him, where they save solid. And at the same amount of cement and sand that they use for beat me on. But look what in the happen. Me wall down for them, all the block they all don't scatter. It like say some kind of magic behind this. You want to know the magic behind this? Now the superior quality, extra strong, extra life and extra yield cement we are the use. And that's not Dangote 3X Portland limestone cement. Dangote cement now the highest grade cement in the country. When a 42.5 R grade cement, when no one day come na this country, and one of the highest grade pan cement where you go get na the wall. Where you want your concrete, wall and block solid, use Dangote 42.5 R cement, you no go regret them. You go get Dangote 42.5 R cement na all the shop and building material store na the one whole country.
Patiently she's walking down the road. What are they running?
Honey, what you go do now for this pikin so? Usa go care and go. Because Mr. Musa don't police speaking for week pata.
Just no worry about that. Now that make the Ministry of Gender and Children's Affairs don't set up the one-stop center. This center na side where you go, where they don't rape you, where you go get all the service them, where you forget. And if you're not able to reach there, you can call our 116 line from any mobile network where you get.
Mina Honorable Mantita Awali, Mina the Minister for Gender and Children's Affairs. The Ministry of Gender and Children's Affairs, now get a mandate for tap read. Now for that reason we don't put the 116 hotline. That line they open 24 hours and it's free from all mobile network. Anybody experience rape or any sexual violence, call 116 immediately.
So now wait, as they rape you or they rape you pikin, take a 110 at the one-stop center. We get office then at Putloko, Koinadugu, Kailaum, Pujeum, Moyamba, and Western area.
Now the Ministry of Gender and Children's Affairs bring this message to you.
We continue with the program Good Morning Salon, where they come to you from the Society for Radio Democracy 98.1 FM, 8:35 na the 10 promo studio clock, and we ready bring the program come to you this Friday morning. My name na Khadija Bangura
and Mabel Kaba.
We look at more issues them inside the program this morning. Now they take one part with headlines to read them. The National Medical Supplies Agency gets the power for buy all medical things them for government, hospital them and self-agency them. And same way so then they facilitate for supply the free healthcare medicine them now all government hospital them na the country. According to the managing director na the National Medical Supplies Agency, Dr. Lawrence Sandy, he said for this year they don't able for distribute 98% of the free healthcare medicine them where them been buy, but say they're not go able for give complete supply to the government hospital them. Dr. Lawrence Sandy explained more to Safti Kalon inside this interview. Also, it starts for talk about the National Medical Supplies Agency then work.
I would say a little bit of a challenge because of the COVID, but if you look broadly, we mandate as an agency responsible for the procurement, warehousing, distribution of drugs and medical supplies, countrywide on behalf of all government institutions. We look at that prior to COVID, we've been get, for instance, the free healthcare, program initiative where the drug aspect will be managed and they do quarterly distribution. We get other programs that will be the support. For instance, the Global Fund supported programs for malaria, HIV, TB. So then we also don't facilitate and distribution. So broadly, this don't be some of the routine activities where they undertake. Now with the emergence of COVID, obviously, it don't add more pressure because they manage the medical aspect, the medical and drug supply aspects for the COVID response.
So looking at the issue about the free health care, now that the COVID done this, so many people don't they say anything we get for do with medical service, the attention don't diverted more to coronavirus. For Una so how well Una mandate still for make sure say supply them reach and the different medical facility, how effective it don't talik during this period?
Okay, well the idea say maybe the ministry in particular, the ministry in particular in mindset don't divert a bit and not think that are true. COVID might seem for, overshadow, but everything is really running on this program.
So you answer on a swift in our response in terms of
we are swift in our response. Matter of fact, because every quarter we can commence, free healthcare distribution, we can get the media involved. So the media will help as a gateway for propagate the message to the community because they do this for the community. We've been finished quarter one distribution, it began sometime around March. It was the same trend. Unfortunately, this, because of COVID, we're not going to get all the community members as we routinely can do. Now make one do extensive media engagement so that the media will help propagate the message to the community. But so we're on track with ensuring that with traditional programs they remain effective. Because look at this way, the free health care they cater for targeted beneficiaries. Pregnant women, lactating mothers, the pikin already under 5, disabled people in the community. If you take your eye off that and then you focus on COVID, you might be winning the fight on COVID. You're going to lose the war on maternal and child mortality. Sure. So to me, it's a balance. And
so now, for the second commencement of the distribution of the free health care, I don't start them?
Yes, we don't start the 22nd. We start the quarter 2. We cover, PCMH and Oladirin. We continue all the way through until we do all the Western area hospitals. Then we go do the regional hospitals and the district medical stores.
So looking at the moment Mona can go supply, the issue about now lactating mothers not going to hospital don't number one because it is scared really of the coronavirus. The way you look at the government hospital, now few people in get the confidence for go hospital in on a supply way on a do not for just do the supply, but how they make sure say it benefits the right people, and that's the one the way you don't mention under 5 lactating mothers and all.
Well, in terms of for ensure say the beneficiaries that they gain from way to the supply, we're not the only go left the products and then pull back. We always in constant touch with all the facilities. We make sure say that collaborative approach there. I mean, the one that we really in charge of those commodities we can bring in the pharmacists, either hospital pharmacies or the district pharmacies as the case might be. So we're in constant collaboration with them, even the medical superintendent or the district medical officers. So that collaboration, they help we for ensure say these commodities they get to the targeted beneficiaries. With the whole facilities also accountable in a way that we expect them for the report to we routinely on their consumption patterns. And then we can periodically also do spot check. And the ministry, of course, itself they in sync, like the Directorate of Primary Health Care, the Directorate of Drugs and Medical Supplies, Directorate of Hospital and Ambulance. They are all, in that collaborative scheme for ensure say, supplies on at this facility, are the people benefiting from it? So, it's a broader scope.
Apart from the free healthcare, one also gets a mandate for facilitate distribution of other medical supply and other facility them. How one don't do that within the different medical facility them with them?
Yes, well, in terms of the facilities, again, broadly, a government institution, a government agency, so we target government institution, government hospitals, put it that way, government hospitals and government-supported hospitals, or facilities, if you will, including that of the DHMTs, when I did the district medical stores then did. So, I mean, we target a broader scope.
Now with COVID, work in terms of supplies?
Well, we don't try for ensure say we are timely, because the work is determinant on products that were available. So, and the procurement of the drugs and supplies itself, not only we did one, but they get huge donor support, and the donors then, for instance, DFID, and they don't facilitate the procurement of free healthcare drugs for many, many years, up until 2018, where government intervened. Now with the school financing. So, it's determinant on how soon the commodities where the donors then procure reach in country to the allocation and then facility. But for the most part, we've been very timely. So we've been the intent for start right away by June. It's skew a little bit that would start July because again, COVID came, there were a lot of uncertainties here and there, and but within the time frame we are, and the plan is right after this distribution, we'll prepare again for do another one.
So looking at the availability of the different medical supply them, we can need for supplying a different medical facility them in this particular period, which you could see in terms of them coming on time and being available in a different facility there. So
well, for the free healthcare in particular, I think one comfort we'll get now is we have for this year's distribution, 2020 distribution, I would say we get almost about 98% of waiting they don't procure in country.
Okay.
Say that. So which means that's a big cushion. It gives it a leeway as we complete quarter 2 distribution, if we're able to go into planning and effectively start quarter 3 distribution as the case might be. So that gives that comfort there. In terms of actually all the products that we will need for help enhance the free healthcare program, there's a big challenge there. And the challenge, obviously, government currently, they do its best. The ministry, they work assiduously for see how best we can cushion that challenge. But the challenge comes down to funding. Because for run the free healthcare program, the drug aspect, for make drug available, when they talk about every facility, what's every facility? When they talk about over 40 hospitals.
So looking at this second quarter of distribution of the free healthcare, medical drugs and all that in them, is it that from which you don't say so? It means say for waiting facility they can need, and are not able to get an incomplete supply?
The truth of the matter is yes. All waiting then go need, teeth in, teeth out, say 1, 2, 3, 4, we're not going to give them all. But we do it best with the ration, make sure say, usai with the see, and this is not based on their consumption. Targeted tertiary hospitals, like the PCMH or Ladurin, where most of the beneficiaries in there, the Lumley Hospital, the Kiama Road, Lokupa, we ensure say, we respond to the demand. The truth of the matter is, we're not going to give them all waiting at the request. That I can tell you because we just don't have it available, and it's just because of the the financial challenges. Say over 40 hospitals, you get 16 districts, they cover all the districts, then you go over 1,300 PHUs, the peripheral health units. Everyone get forget product. When we don't work, and this would expect them, when they don't do quantification for the drugs we needed, the cost implication, forget all in drugs, it's about $23 million. And waiting they come in currently is still under $10 million. So you see the gap where it exists. So waiting every facility would need at every given time. Challenge day. But government, they work hard. The ministry, they work hard for see how for close that question.
So in all of this, we don't talk about, apart from the other issues them we don't mention, we will consider as a challenge. When are the other challenge them also the National Medical Supplies Agency they get in terms of facilitating medical logistics and distribution also?
Right. If we can start with one, like there's so much parallel procurement to take place. And if you get too many players all they procure drugs, at the end of the year, if you try to put that in perspective, then you weigh onto the outcome, you see a significant gap there. So one thing we try to push for now for long harmonized procurement, because I think that is one huge gain if we're able to do that. And obviously, secondly, the distribution. Because the drugs and car, you can forget they're all the way to sometimes hard to reach areas, places the way vehicles not even pliable, so which means you need, a mechanism where you forget them drugs into them places. But even the vehicles that they use, then they get for run out, then they get ruined and what have you. So getting fleets, we're able to help with that, remains a challenge. But with the manage with the small we'll get, then even the whole supply planning, because there's a lot that goes into it, from the quantification and what have you. You can also factor in the human resource. So all this, they bring in challenges. But for we they look beyond the challenges. They deal with waiting we get on hand, smaller waiting available, and then make sure, say, at least we use that for do what we need for do.
That's not the director, not the managing director, not the National Medical Supplies Agency, Dr. Lawrence Sandy. If they talk to Sapti Kalon inside that interview there, but the free healthcare medicine them way is say they're not able for buy about 98%, but they're not go able for complete their supply now all the government hospital them.
The program Good Morning Salon they continue. You don't they send you comments and questions towards issues and what we discuss on the program to the number 077981981 and Safe na the Radio Democracy Facebook page. We look at the message I don't send at the program. The very first one I go look at the text us say how person will be part of this training if person gets for pay. Mohammed Nine send a message to.
This one I want to say thank you to all the MPs in the Well of Parliament for their unanimous support to the repeal of the 1965 Public Order Act Part 5 amendment, and bravo to the Honorable Minister of Information and Communication, Mohamed Rahman Soare, for a job well done. They come out from Amara Alpha.
This other one say, what plans do you have to handle challenges of sustainability of such technological initiative?
More messages them. We don't come to the program. This one they say, I and my team members do appreciate HE retired Brigadier Jojo Spada Bio for the support given to members of Parliament to repeal the 1965 Public Order Act.
This other message say the challenge now lies in the hands of journalists to ensure that they don't let members of Parliament down after repealing such bad law.
More messages them. We don't come to the program this morning. This one they come out from Lamin Kaloko Nakabala. They say thanks President Bio and the Parliamentary Committee for the repeal of the criminal libel law to civil law. But I hope the journalists do their work professionally because they don't want to see themselves where they should not be.
This other message say, has the government and private sector expressed interest to grab such opportunity for a digital economy? A question where they ask. All right, we look at female message. This final one, I go look at this time and allow the guests to respond. It say, what is your contact address for partnership? And from that message and they come over to the studio guest for response to the concern they were coming from Winner David McCha, the executive president for CADAP.
So I want to tell me family a lot of thanks. We did the follow up on what we discussed. And so with regards to the issue of people paying for it, really, we not decide down on it because we first of all they try to create the awareness for let them be aware, say this kind of thing there, and then the opportunity for let them be trained. And then once we forget interest from government and the private sector, then we keep for decide and what if we do about that. In terms of sustainability of the technology, if you find out right now, a lot of problems in the financial sector. It's because, it's not about you deploying technology, it's about your capacity for handle the pressure with shock and other things. And so now that we really good at. So we build the world's only open source platform where we get, as a company, we get time for the entire continent. But also, it comes with solid technology, and we're able to ensure sustainability to any level with all the entire infrastructure we would deploy. In terms of, for instance, how ruggedized it is with regards to weather and other things, in terms of how solid it is with regards to infringement with some of the applications that we would use. And so we get real-time monitoring of the internet, vector monitoring of all the applications that we will get. Also, we get a kind of a social contract built in it, where you're able to democratize your own data, so you get command and control, you see what happen in real time. And so this not the only open source system in the world because of insecurity capacity we get, and we there on 6 continents, and now we there for the entire continent, now we company.
So what's that capacity in terms of security we did talk about?
So I'll give an example, for instance. If you go to a bank right now, you want to use your card, for instance, right now, they tell you, you're not going for user. The reason is because normally a lot of institutions, they try to reinvent the wheel. So they get global standards for PCI security infrastructure. So we, the people that we build the systems that we would use, the partners, the OEM partners there, that they first begin this in the world. And so because of that, they build that standard and they build the security. So things like blockchain and NFC and all, so all they on that platform there. But when you come to local, for instance, people want to build their own, and because of sometimes normally people want to reinvent the wheel, and so you always get a breakdown. And so one of them breakdowns that happen right now within the market, because that standalone security and that global security for able to ensure some of the internet. So that side in the world, now the highest security system we get, and it improve daily. It would improve on daily because of research capability as well. And so we get that right now. And the other thing is also when you talk about sustainability, you talk about the capacity for able to replicate yourself, so that what you do able to continue and able to maintain and survive and thrive during shock. And so we also don't build that in also we corporate structures. And so for instance, like people that already talk about how they go partner with we. And so we don't build a situation where you have to go through a series of programs and for those able to qualify for able to partner with, where they build enough resilience with what they do. And so we don't build all of them structures and that's what we try for able to bring to bear. And then once we bring to bear and within the training, and then people they care for adopt, we care for adopt people that are on the platform, and then they for utilize the platform.
Somebody be asked if government and private sector already begin express interest for such initiative.
Yes, we get, as I tell you, we get private sector, we get interest. As I tell you, we look at the financial sector and we get 1 or 2 way, we try to do some things with. I'm not going to talk about it now, but it's a developer program we will try to do with them. Then we get also, as I say, I keep for categorically say we partner with PMB because they want to bring financial inclusion in agriculture, and people use remote sensing. We get some of the best remote sensing technology and scientists then for able for provide services. We farmers not get control over for agriculture, for develop agriculture in the country. And then also we get businesses they try for. But most of the operations really more solid in Nigeria because they're more aware of some of the technology there. And so now they really more the training. Actually now for them we design the training, not for really also for with them. But because we are a Australian company, we did it, and they already don't go ahead, and we don't conclude with the banks, and we partner bank with it. We already conclude with them, we move into deployment, and we try for train people then for handle business and some other things. And we try for bring that also, so that because the people they rely on AI, not so they come actually, and so.
Mustafa Cole on Facebook, they say, Mr. Jah, my financial company will need your training. Please let me have your email and contact.
Okay, so I shall go respond to Mustafa Cole on that. So I will check on the contact, and then definitely I will give him information. I know we're able to get my personal email, but I will give him a company response, and then I'll look for contact them, definitely. So, but if na for number na 077 525985. So na my number there. But then we go do a proper once we done with this and then we ready, we get a Facebook page, we get everybody on the social handle right now. And so what we try to do is we also get a process for the training. We never just go out and advertise for training like that. We get away with the do and we
waiting at the process then.
So the process is really one for help for get a lot of data on people that needs them. So normally we can do a specific training awareness program where you able to go to you register your company, you tell which your specific needs. So once we begin the training, we actually able to target your specific needs. So once we do that out, we able to put on also on social handles there, and then we able to do that announcement there.
So how about company them just like within this person, right? We're interested, but maybe they're not going to forget to slot like the training and they wish for work with on our own company. So how on go able for ensure say on bring them in some of them facility they already provide.
So what you want to do is I think say we want for really get companies and not just for let them say we want for training, but from the demand side. We want for know which in like for a general statement you give right now say you need training, which is specifically you need the training for. So we need for able for develop that program there. We don't do them for the last webinar where we get people then come with them specific needs them. So once we do that, we send them to them. But for general contact, I can give me a number right now where I don't give. And then we also get with Facebook page where people then came for contact. We also get with physical address, but because people need to move right now, so we believe the social handle will work better. And so once we do that, we'll put on our Facebook page, then one. And then two also, then you can 19.1, why not? And then can able for, I can able for drop the address and then we can able for discuss that. But we go and just say, the number there out when 77 525985, and then we also have Facebook page and then we physical address if they have to move within this for me to physical address. But because everybody on the social handle, once we develop them, we need to put them on the necessary platforms on WhatsApp, on Facebook, and then people that care for access them. But for specifically, you can go on my Facebook page and inbox me, David Migja, and my Facebook name Nandi. You can go and inbox me, and then you can forget my contact.
Then training there will cost anything or not just free?
Well, as I say, the training really it been designed for Nigeria. As I say, we already conclude with them. We don't get the CVs them of the different companies and the people that really come in. We decided for extend Naya because we see say it's necessary for us. So we also go through the same process. It's a process where we get for everybody will train. We therefore go through, a CV and other things. I mean, for everyone to see the right person really get the right training. So that process we not start here. We just create the awareness for. So once we start that, and then we'll be able to bring that, and then we'll be able to make sure so people they access them. But in case anybody want really know what the training is, you can able to get easiest way. You go down my Facebook page, you inbox me, and then you can able to get more information on that. But then with Team UK, and you really can organize with training programs, and then they can get a handle for registration and other things, and we can able to pull out, and then we people able to access them.
Earlier, you been talking about legal, corporate, and technical agreements and ways one can go into with different people. So for this legal, corporate, or technical, when I get any specified criteria when I look for when I get a partnership with institutions or individuals who are going to be interested?
Yes, this is very, very serious. So because we no one for come and compete with local companies, and for instance, we don't want to compete with the banks. We don't try and once we beat them to that. They try to do tax collection with local councils. We sign with all local councils. They never for sign with none of them because they never for provide the services for meet and demands them. So what we would do is, first of all, either you're in IT for technical partnership or you're in a telco, for instance, for technical partnership because we reach you site telecommunications companies and they reach. And then also you're in one kind of financial service, for instance, than I want. So, for instance, like as I say, we deal more with commercial banks and for empower them and enable them. And then the other thing is also you get for able forget a company. We need to deal with individual. We deal with company. You get for register. I can say funnily that everybody's supposed to forget a company. You don't know when the opportunity kick out. So you forget a registered company, and then because the institutional arrangements, then we do more because we want for be light enough for focus on product development. And so then once we transfer, we train you and transfer the technology, you can for carry on.
So in terms of the equipment, them na una for provide the technological equipment that we needed when the person don't register with una and get the training.
Yes, so we already don't do that. We
Right.
don't get the first one. We don't send our UK to the GDPR, when data protection, which is work on it right now. We all bring that and then we open the platform for people for access on the technical and corporate arrangements that we get right now. Yeah. So we therefore do that as well. So we already get them platforms and they're ready. So once we don't able for get a critical mass, we're interested, and then we look at the product development partnership with the try for bill, and then people that came for ride on from different sectors and for access and utilize the facility.
All right, many thanks for joining at the program this morning. David McJah, President for CADAP. They've been there this morning. They tell you about digital economic training, where then they come up with 2nd week August for help boost the country economy, even though the country goes through some crisis now because of the coronavirus. Now, this edition of the program, Good Morning Salon Golefona, plenty thank you to the production team. Michael Sambola and Alex Lawrence Kroma produced the program. DJ Lava gave technical support. Moses Kavra and Franklin Pemak, be make on us on Facebook. So till we meet again, Mabel Kabade say get yourself a wonderful weekend. Goodbye.
And Mina Khadija Bangwa, they say have a nice weekend.